So I moved to San Diego kind of randomly, and shortly after I moved, I thought I'm gonna throw myself into this situation, new environment, and meet a bunch of friends and people. And we usually tell people we met on a dating app, and it's usually followed by the question of which one. And we used to kind of like
try to think of something different, but now we just kind of go with it.
Yeah, so we met on Tinder. Shortly after I moved here, one of my friends tried to convince me to go on there, and I said, there's no way, thank you very much, I appreciate your advice, but I am good. And then I moved into my apartment. I had no internet or cable, and I was sitting there one day on my phone, and I said, oh, I guess I'm gonna see what's going on Tinder. And then maybe a week and a half later, we met.
That came about. That was kind of situation as well. I was friends hey, why don't you try this out? So I did, not thinking of anything, maybe just meet a few people, not knowing I would meet my future wife. But, I'm glad I actually went on it.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly, 100%. First date, like we've been talking, just, phone, text message, and our first date, we wanted to grab some lunch and go to Balboa Park and eat it there. So I drove to her house to pick her up. And I got there and walked outside my car on the other side, just waiting for her before she came out. And I remember her coming out, she was walking. I think she had like some jean shorts on and like a cream top. And she was kind of walking with her head down, and then when I was sitting by my car, just standing there waiting for her. And when she kind of looked up, I saw her, and I instantly, said it to myself, I was like, whoa. It was just like a reaction, like somebody hitting your knee with a little hammer, how reflex. It just kind of came out.
And I was super, super nervous for our first date, and I don't know why, because I had been in San Diego for maybe a month and a half or so, and kind of went on a few dates and hung out with some people. And I was telling my friend before I went on this date, I don't know why, but I am so nervous for this date, and I don't know why, but I came outside and I definitely was attracted to him, that's for sure. But yeah, I was really nervous, and I thought he was super cute and kind of quiet and nice, and then we went and got sandwiches.
Yeah, the odd thing about that, I'm usually nervous when it comes to a lot of stuff, and I was actually not nervous at all until I got out and walked around to my car, and that's kind of when I got nervous. But other than that, coming up to it, it's like I wasn't nervous one bit, which is very surprising.
So when we first met, we went on a very long first date, a very long second date, but it wasn't really I didn't really think we would actually end up dating, and neither did he really. We just kind of, places of our lives, I guess, we weren't really thinking that it was actually going to turn into a relationship.
Yeah, we weren't ready really for anything like that.
And so we dated for quite a while before we actually became an official couple. So he asked me to be his girlfriend, very similar to the way he proposed to me, which was kind of with a little scavenger hunt.
Kind of by her house down I knocked on her door and had flowers waiting for her, and then left a note saying put on a jacket, it's cold out, and come find me. And then she walks down the road, there's another little envelope, and then eventually it came down to me where we talked. One day, there's a place we sat and just talked for an hour or two, kind of overlooking Mission Valley. And I was waiting for her there, and then she came. And
then I thought, if you're asking me to be your girlfriend like this, how the heck are you going to propose if we ever get married someday?
Yeah, definitely would have to step that up.
So then we were a couple. That was that was December-ish.
That was December 12th.
December 12th.
2015.
Well, go ahead.
My first time I said it,
It was an accident.
It was an accident. Well, at the time, maybe, but it was more my heart knew I was already in love with you, but it was more like my mind. But anyways, she was taking me to the airport. I think it's like for around Thanksgiving, and we were running a little bit late, and so she had to drop me off, and then as I got out of the car, gave her a kiss, and said, "I love you." And then I shut the door. I was hoping that she didn't hear me, because I was like, "Oh my God, did I just say that?" So I opened the back door to grab my bag, and there's just a big smile on her face. So I just went, "So what'd you say?" And I kind of choked. I was like, "I like you." And then I left. So that's the first time I said I love you.
And then I said it, well, we had an eventful first New Year's together, thanks to his friend Jimmy.
Thank you.
And long story short, we ended up in the ER and spent the whole ER in the hospital, or the whole New Year's in the ER. And I work in a hospital, so I'm used to being in that environment, but definitely being on the other side of things was much different. And all these emotions were coming out, and I told him at that time that I loved him and everything was gonna be fine, and he had a couple broken bones in his face. He's still gonna be pretty, and everything was gonna be all right.
When she said the first time I love you is kind of when I knew it was meant to be. When we were in the hospital after fracturing my face on New Year's Eve. It was actually the first at that time. Got in the hospital around 1, we were there till 4, but I remember laying in the hospital bed. They just gave me the painkillers, which I was really grateful for because in pain. And then, you know, we were up all night. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning at this time, and she was tired. I was laying in the hospital bed, and she asked if she could, you know, come up there with me and lay down. I said yes. So she, you know, lay down, put her head on my right shoulder. And I don't know if it was the drugs, but I had like a warm feeling go through my body, and that's when I was like, she's the one.
For me, I don't think there was any like a particular moment. I know like we dated a while before we really became an official couple, and it was just so refreshing because he didn't play any games. He was just genuinely nice gentleman, and
Thanks,
that was mostly the reason why I feel like I dealt so long with just like dating without, you know, getting to that next step. But like I feel like that whole time I just kind of like I knew like I just had a feeling it was gonna work out the way it was supposed to work out, which is us getting married in the end. But I don't know, I don't think there was necessarily a particular one moment for me. I just kind of throughout felt good about it. So basically I was asked by a couple of his girlfriends to go have a girls' day. We were gonna go out day drinking and have a good time, and and so they took me to a place to have lunch. I had a couple margaritas. We went and got our nails done, and then we had plans to continue on, but we ended up going back to my place, and that's kind of where it started. And I got there, and there was kind of a letter. It kind of goes off of the way he asked me to be his girlfriend. It was a scavenger hunt, and so he had bought a dress that I put on, and the note said to go to Balboa Park, and essentially there was a scavenger hunt along the way, and somebody new at each spot. So the first one was my friends Melissa and Andrew, and then from there on it was, you know, my parents and my sisters. My niece and sister from Portland came down. I had no idea they were there, and then at the end he was near the Prado where we ate lunch our first date, and he proposed, and then we had a little after party at Stone Brewery, and then it was like really well thought out for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to do something that was, special, kind of like how I asked you to be my girlfriend, but I wanted something bigger scale. So I kind of was talking to her sisters, her family members, and all of her friends, and trying to plan something pretty big. I knew I wanted to kind of do a scavenger hunt through the area we kind of had our first date, and end it where we ate lunch. So it probably took 2, maybe 3 months to kind of plan everything out. and it worked pretty well with having each like family member or really good friend. People came into town from Portland, from LA, Ventura, to kind of be there. So each place there's a different person to surprise her, because I knew it was going to be very, like, she will figure it out what's going on, like right off the bat. So I want to make sure that, you know, she's surprised at each spot. And then eventually I was there to propose. And then we went to Stone Brewery, where I had some more friends of hers in town to surprise her.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. We are watching this video right now because we're sitting at the table at a reception. We're married. It's so crazy. I feel like this has been quite the journey to this point, and I'm like so incredibly happy to be sharing this with you. And I really truly couldn't have asked for a better person, a nicer person, and more honest person. People told me along the way, like, you're so lucky, you got a good one. When I would go back to your hometown, a lot of people told me that, and I know I got a good one. You're great. And I'm just really ecstatic to start the next chapter, maybe have some kids soon, and just grow what we've already built. I truly think you're my best friend. I've been shopping for wedding dresses, and I really want to ask your opinion, but I haven't been able to, because I feel like we think so similar, and we are such good friends at this point beyond any romantic part of our relationship that I'm so stoked that I met you, and I hope that we just continue on with this. I love you.
We did it. We're married. Finally there. Thank you for always being there for me. Always being on my side, not in front or behind me. Always there for support. And thank you most of all for just being you. I'm excited to start a new life together, to have kids, to have little ones running around the house, making noise, making the house busy. I'm excited for more memories, more trips, more adventures. Excited to call you my wife and tell people, you know, instead of being my girlfriend, meet my wife. And just for everything else, you know, I'm excited to be part of your family and be part of, you know, just your life. And I'm very, very excited for that. Definitely want to thank everybody who's kind of been a part of our life. You know, you all play a special role, and we like to share this day, this time, and you know, our life with you guys.
Yeah, and everyone that was a part of the proposal and just been sort of supportive along the way, we really appreciate it. We know everyone has to travel to get here. Take time out of your, you know, work life. It's on a Friday, and you know, money and time, and hopefully you enjoy your time in San Diego if you're visiting, and hopefully everyone in San Diego enjoys their Friday off, and we all have a really amazing time, and you'll remember this wedding because it's going to be a great party.
A big party, so enjoy yourself.